Hello again, everyone, and these are the answers to the 7th Star Pupil quiz. And the first question was that picture question. I showed you this pop group and I asked you the name of the group, and they are the Jonas Brothers. So I don't know, you might know some of their music. Question 2, the film question. Manny, Sid and Diego are all characters in Ice Age. So Manny's the mammoth, Sid's the sloth and Diego's the saber-toothed tiger. And then question 3 was geography, and I asked you the name of the wall built by the Romans near the border between Scotland and England, and that's Hadrian's Wall. And I said the question is 73 miles long, and you maybe have walked on maybe a little bit of a section of it. Literature, and I asked you about that book by Linley Dodd, and I asked you where is Harry McClary from, and there is Harry McClary himself, and he is from Donaldson's Dairy, and he is definitely a bit hairy, it's got to be said. The history question, which was question 4, Pandora, Hercules, Theseus, Pegasus and the Gorgons all feature in myths from ancient Greece. So they're all Greek myths. And again, you may well have studied those. And they're really good stories just to know and have in your memory. Question 6 was that science question, the 3 states of matter, and I said matter is stuff. And it's just a way of helping us understand what matter is. And of course, the 3 states are solid, liquid and gas. And I'm sure in your science lessons you've experimented and looked at different states of matter. Question 7 were the lines from that song. I gave you a little clue, Toy Story. If you've got troubles, I've got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together and can see it through. You got a friend in me. A great song with a super message. So a really uplifting song. In question 8, I asked you what NHS stands for, because we hear, we've heard it so much, particularly over the last few months, and it stands for National Health Service. I certainly want to say a huge thank you to anyone who's been working in the National Health Service, the NHS, and thank you not just for the last few months, but for everything you do for all of us. We're very, very lucky that we have that service. Question 9 was nature, true or false. All camels have 2 humps, and that's false, because dromedaries have 1 hump, so not true that all camels have 2 humps. And question 10 was the currency question, and it's the euro that is used in Spain, Germany, France and Italy, and other countries also use the euro. And the next question, which was question 11, and I showed you this triangle, and it's the one I used to always say to my class, it looks a little bit like a witch's hat with the 2 equal sides. So the 2 equal sides and then the slightly smaller base. And that's an isosceles triangle. And there's a little challenge to learn to spell isosceles. One child once misheard it and thought it was isosages, but it's isosceles triangle. Question 12, and I asked you how long was a professional professional football match. And some of you might say, perhaps if you're not a football fan, too long, but of course no, we're not going to be cheeky. A professional football match, assuming that there's no stoppage time, is 90 minutes. And my goodness me, that's a long time to be running around. So 90 minutes is the official length of a football match. Literature, and I asked you for the name for that technique where we give human or animal characteristics to something. So for example, I said to you, the wind roared, and that's personification. And if you look on Star Pupil next week, go and do a little bit of work on personification. Question 14, the animals that don't have a backbone, such as the jellyfish or worms or slugs, and they're invertebrates. So invertebrates don't have a backbone. Question 15, and I asked you in which state would you find Walt Disney World and Universal Studios, and they can all be found in Florida, in Orlando in Florida. And maybe you've been there, and maybe, I know some people were hoping to go there this year, but maybe next year, maybe some other time, but that's where you find those 2 tourist attractions. Question 16, the maths question, and I asked you which one of those was not a factor of 12. There was a little bit of work on Star Pupil earlier this week about multiples and factors. So factor is a number which divides equally into another number, and the options I gave you were 4, 5, 3 and 2, and 5 is not a factor of 12. All the other numbers, 4, 3 and 2, all divide equally into 12. Question 17, and I asked you the surname of the TV chef Gordon, and his now becoming quite famous daughter Matilda, who's got her own cookery show, and that of course was Ramsay, so Gordon and Matilda Ramsay. And question 18, I gave you 4 sports and I asked you which one was not played with a racket: volleyball, squash, tennis or badminton. And of course it was volleyball. Volleyball's played with the hand over a net, and the others are all racket sports. And question 16, I showed you this person and I asked you who this person was, and I'll hold it up again just make sure the shadow. And some of you may well have studied this person. I gave you a little clue and said it was a nurse, and it is Mary Seacole, and a nurse during the Crimean War, at the same time as Florence Nightingale. And again, something very interesting person to research and find out a little bit about her. And the final question, which was a geography question, and I asked you the capitals of 4 of the 5 countries which make up the British Isles. So we know that London is the capital of England, but the capital of Scotland is Edinburgh, the capital of Wales is Cardiff, the capital of Northern Ireland is Belfast, and the capital of the Republic of Ireland is Dublin. And I said a point for each that you got correct, and if you got them all correct you could have a bonus point. So those were the answers to today's quiz, or Star Pupil quiz number 7. So again, as always, I wonder how you got on, and I'm sure there's some stuff in there that you definitely knew, and certainly some of the topics in there, Mary Seacole and ancient Greece and shapes, etc., will all have been things that some of you will certainly have covered in your lessons. So as I say, I will see you next week. There'll be another quiz next week. I'm going to keep the quizzes going during the summer, but there'll be a change to some of the things available in Star Pupil. But watch out, as I say, for news of my summer or Zoomer school, as I am calling it. And there will be some information coming about that really soon for anybody who's interested. But in the meantime, as I keep saying, thank you for all the likes and shares. I do appreciate it. And as always, do share the quizzes with anybody who you think might be interested, even, teacher friends or something like that, because they will just, give a little bit of fun, a little bit of, say, light-hearted relief at the end of a busy learning week. Okay, take care, and I will definitely see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.